So yeah, those Halloween haunt guys are really something, aren't they? Um, I like the video, and they're kind of scary. Um, but I hope to see them again, maybe live next time. But I am going to check out their socials and look them up on Facebook for sure. And I'm going to like them because I like them. See you next time. Good evening, and welcome to the Heikadelic Show. We would like to take this moment to let you know that viewer and listener discretion is strongly advised. So sit back, have yourself a nice cool drink or hot drink, and enjoy the show. And welcome once again to the Heikadelic Show.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, sorry, I was just rocking out to our tune there. Yeah.
That's a great tune.
How are you, boys?
Excellent.
Yeah,
Living the dream.
living the dream. I know, eh? I got wings.
Nice.
So, what's new?
I'm cutting out.
You're
What
cutting
are
out.
you cutting out for? You just got here.
Yeah, I
Are you
know.
cutting out there?
Yeah, well, I know.
You look fine.
I don't know. You guys seem to be cutting out a bit.
Oh,
Do
we
I
are.
look fine? Do I sound fine?
Yes.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
you're lagging on your end probably, right? And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Actually,
All right. Yeah.
yeah.
you do look a little constipated.
Whoa. That better?
Good.
Yeah, there we go. All good, man. I better fix these wings. They're a
No,
little crazy.
let me tell you a little story.
You're gonna tell
Okay.
you.
I was talking to my bass player, and he told me that he had a problem with his penis.
Oh no.
I was like, really, dude? Like, what'd you do? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, Saturday night or Saturday morning, I woke up and my dick was all orange.
Whoa, warped.
Yeah. And I was
Okay.
like, dude,
He,
you pumpkin or
he
something?
ate cheesies and then beat himself off, right?
Well, you're not supposed to give the joke away yet, bud. Come on.
Oh,
You
I didn't
ruined the
know.
joke.
I was just
That was a
guessing.
joke, right? Oh.
Aw.
Sorry. Why else would
All
something
right.
be
Well,
orange?
anyways, now that Heiko ruined my joke, how was your guys' week?
It's good. Good, yeah.
Yeah.
All this time changes messing me up, I think.
Oh, the time change is the dumbest freaking thing ever.
No. I don't know. Just keep it, whatever. Just keep switching
Yeah.
it around.
Yeah, leave it the way it was. Do you know
Yeah.
why they do the time change?
It's
It's
all about
because-
compliance.
No, now they're making us use more hydro because we have to turn our lights on earlier.
Yeah.
Bastards.
oh, they are they?
That's what it's all about. Yes, they are.
Oh, they. That's it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
I
And-
heard,
Who are they?
Bingo.
Who are they?
Yes.
no, I heard a story about what was it now? The guy who invented the daylight savings time loved the daylight, and that's how he came up with the concept. And I guess, yeah, I don't know the details of how it became a thing, but he invented it, and it was because he loved daylight so much he wanted to extend the long days. But anyway,
Yeah,
I say that guy's
that-
massive.
That makes no sense.
no,
Because
I heard it though.
the
but
sun
like,
rises, the sun sets. You can't change that, right? All they're doing is moving it.
Hey, speaking
They're
of
moving
the
it.
sun rising
It
and the
gets
sun setting,
dark
did you
sooner,
notice
which
that
sucks.
the moon tonight is in a different spot?
Yeah,
But-
it's over yonder.
The
Yeah,
moon
more
is
to the west.
way over in the west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's with that? Is that a glitch in the Matrix? Hey, is this
It might
my
be.
flat Earth, what I was talking
Yeah.
about before?
Yeah,
My
look for
flat
the
Earth?
woman
Yep.
in the
This is-
red dress.
Because it was in the
What
East
our
for the longest
man.
time, right?
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Kathy's saying it was to do with bugs. All right, Kathy, do a little research on that in the background and give us more detail. Tell us more about that. Oh, and then Richard says Germany established daylight savings in May 1916 as a way to conserve fuel during World War I. Wow, you can't fight
So you
during
went
the
dead
evening.
earlier.
The rest of Europe came on board shortly thereafter, and in 1918, the United States adopted daylight savings time.
Wow.
Interesting.
Damn Germans, eh?
Well, so
Yeah,
you go to bed
so-
earlier, right?
But here's the
You go to
question.
bed, you're not using stuff.
How come Kathy said it was about bugs and Richard saying it was about Germany wanting to go to war later in the day so they can save fuel?
Because Google will tell you anything.
I don't know.
Well,
Guys,
you know what?
figure it out. Figure it out and come
Let's-
back to it.
Come
And
on,
then tell me
listeners
who
and
they are.
viewers.
Yes.
Research it and tell us what it is. Why do we have daylight savings time?
Richard, if you'd like to come on and defend that with Kathy, I'll pull you guys in and you can just debate that one.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a few minutes to get your online knowledge up, and then we'll send you an invite and we'll get you on live and you can debate that for us.
Speaking of invites, George, I think we need an invite.
Hang on, hark. I do believe I hear something.
I'm going to crack mine open early.
Hang on.
I love it.
So there's Richard with his. The plan was not formally adopted in the U.S. until 1918. An act to preserve daylight and provide standard time for the United States was enacted on March 19th. Both established standard time zones and set daylight savings time to begin on March 31st, 1918. Just what Google says.
Yeah, of course.
And then Kathy says it was some scientist who studied bugs.
I like that one.
Yeah, but no, you know what? Who knows? Maybe that was the scientist that wanted longer daylight because he studied bugs. Don't know, but figure it out.
Yeah,
the debate goes on.
That's quite two different theories there.
Yeah, it's just somebody
Yeah,
who
sure.
liked to have their coffee in the morning and watch the sun come up, so they changed it.
Yeah,
It comes
but
up anyway, though.
I have
You know
to
what?
say,
The rooster doesn't give a rat's ass what time it is. The rooster crows when the sun comes up,
Yeah.
right? Why change it?
Kathy's saying he wanted longer daylight for the bugs.
That gets more
But-
interesting.
Yeah,
So,
but when they change it, we have shorter daylight. It gets dark earlier.
yeah.
What kind of bugs?
Maybe there were the lightning bugs. Boop, boop.
Maybe there were
Yeah.
bugs that rise early.
Bug lights.
Ah,
Yeah.
Morning bugs.
see,
Oh,
everybody's confused.
Bed
Nobody
bugs. They were probably bed bugs.
knows. Yeah,
They didn't like to get out of, whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's fall forward. No, it's fall back, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you always fall back.
Forward, fall back.
Bring forward.
Yeah,
Right
the way
on.
it is in the summer, they should just leave it alone, right?
Yeah.
I think
Probably.
there's moves to do that, isn't there? Like,
So I have an interesting thing. So we're all going to go to Mars someday, and I actually found a box, which is a 1 acre,
I bought one
Yeah.
of those on the moon.
1 acre of deeded property on Mars.
hmm.
So I'm gonna send this to Elon Musk and tell him when I go to Mars, I'm gonna
You
sign
want to
up.
go sit on. You want to set up a lawn chair on your acre and have a beer.
You know what? It's all here. It's all here. In fact, there's a map Where is it here? Okay, so this is the Martian Constitution Bill of Rights.
All right.
So it's a whole legal document here.
Wow.
And at the back of it, on the Martian map, here's my acre. The longitude and latitude for my land is right here.
Mm-hmm.
So have any
All right,
craters
so-
on it? Or big rocks?
No, it's like one of those quadrants, so I'd have to look it up after, but yeah, it's official. So yeah, I plan on doing that. I wanna go to Mars. So I'm gonna ask Elon if I can find out more about that and go to Mars and maybe put a lawn chair out and pop a beer.
I think you should ask him if there's enough room on the spaceship to take one of your golf carts.
No,
Would that be cool? Bomb around on a golf cart on Mars?
I'm sure he's got better carts. I love those trucks he's got, right? Like the Tesla trucks. Wow, incredible.
Yeah.
Did you put
pretty
one on
awesome.
order, Hike?
Yeah, 2 actually.
Oh, did
Yeah.
you? They're not
Yeah.
very expensive in the grand scheme of things, right?
No.
70, 80,000 US.
Yeah, something like that. I want
Yep.
one for highway driving, and I want one
sorry.
for off-roading.
I was just looking at Kathy's thing here. He wanted longer daylight for the bugs.
Yeah, it's on the thing here. Yeah.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
Richard says, I say Kathy Harkness is like.
She's joking, right? Because like bugs really can tell the time, so it wouldn't really matter what time. It's just going to be the same time for bugs because it's not like they got to get up.
No, but if the guy was like a bug explorer, or you know,
The bugs are still not going to change anything.
like a bug hound.
We changed it.
I didn't.
the number.
If he was like a bug hound, and George, I didn't say buggery. He was a bug hound.
Okay.
Then he wanted more daylight to see the bugs.
Yeah, well, just get up earlier.
Okay, so I was
You don't need to
exactly
change
that's just exactly instead of getting up at 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, you don't need to change the
Looks like
time.
but it looks
just
like he wanted more.
It's about
More time to study them in the daylight. So here's my take on it. So it switched. What was it? Last night or this morning? No, last night. Anyway,
Last weekend.
last weekend. Okay, did I lose a few days?
Saturday night.
2 o'clock Sunday
Oh,
morning.
really?
nights
That
ago.
far? Really?
2 a.m.
That far
Yeah.
back? Gee,
Yeah.
2 nights ago.
I feel like I've gotten probed. I've missed a couple of days. Anyway, so I woke up at, I don't know, what I thought was 4 o'clock. So my clocks were 2 hours off to begin with, and then an hour off. So, but then I looked at my phone, and it's like, gosh, I have another 5 hours of sleep ahead of me. And I was like, oh, I felt so good after looking at the clock and you know, wow, it's almost 6 a.m. So I guess the power went out in my clock.
No.
Pooch.
No.
So yeah,
Well, that's the thing about the change in time. Is going
I
back
own
an
a
hour.
piece of land. I own a whole acre here.
I've got some clocks that I just can't change them. You know what I mean? Like I've got a battery operated one. I can never figure out. Oh, God.
Well,
Everything else changes. The date will change on it.
There's this place that collects clocks. You walk in and it's got clocks everywhere. It's got clocks on the wall. It's got clocks on the floor. It's got 2 other floors with just full of clocks, antique clocks. And they're all
like 2 o'clock.
The clocks are just kind of, they keep them all set. They're very particular about that. But some of the clocks move faster than other clocks.
Yeah.
And they said, well, clocks have a spirit and they're attached to people. And I said, really? That's kind of, okay, so where's Heiko's, clock? And they said, well, he's got his clock, but you know what? We find that people who masturbate, their clocks move much faster. And I said, so where's Geico's clock. I want to see it. Well, we use that as a fan in the back office.
There you go. There we go.
Boom. Yeah.
Steady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, pal. You
good
had to tell
segue,
everybody
George.
my secret.
Yeah. Nice segue there, George. I like that. Clocks everywhere.
Bloody clocks all over the bloody place. No,
Yeah.
I
Clocks
hate that.
everywhere. He's got clocks on his decks.
I watched this thing with Jack Black recently, and he had he was like a warlock, and he had this house, and it was full of clocks.
Yeah.
And he's obsessed with it.
Yes. What
Do
was
you
that?
remember what that was called? It was
No.
It was based on the books, wasn't it? It was.
Yes. Everybody was a character out of a book or whatever.
Yeah. And it had
With my
furniture
daughter.
that came to life, and it was. I like anything Jack Black's in, anyways. But
Yeah.
I think I've seen that. I just remember what it's called.
yeah.
Well, I'm looking it up.
Good.
Right.
Yeah, let's look that one up.
At least somebody is.
Yeah.
You know what I like to watch is there's Netflix is kind of a standard, and now that I've gotten away from all of the Bell and Rogers crap.
Yep.
And I can say that because they were mean to me, but so I'm on Starlink, and so I'm free of all of that, but I do have a lot of channels on things like Netflix, and but there's this Tubi, which is really cool now, and it's part of the Ruko family, I guess. And Tubi's got a ton of stuff on it, as well as Ruko, and there's a lot of I like it because there's a lot of B movies, and like Derek can go make a movie. I think he did make a movie one time, but no, but you can post or they'll pick up like amateur movies and stuff like that, and it's very cool because there's just so much content.
Hey,
You
so
could put our show on there.
that Jack Black movie,
R.L.
it was with the clocks, right?
Yeah.
And it was in that house.
Yes.
And they were all on the walls, right?
Yeah.
All over the walls,
Yes.
they're like everywhere. So would it be like the house with the clocks on the wall?
I don't know. You know what? Kathy's a IBMD or IM.
I'm pretty sure that's it because that's what it just said. It says right there.
Is that what it says? The house with the clocks on the wall?
House with the clocks on the wall.
Oh, I don't remember. Maybe that's because it had a stupid name.
Yeah. 10-year-old Lewis goes live to his oddball uncles in a creaky house that contains mysterious tick-tock noise.
Lots of clocks on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you, talking about setting things, I told you I got a new phone about 2 weeks ago, right?
Uh-huh.
Good one.
This big ass thing here, right? And
The
so
brick.
I was getting like scores on it, right? You know what I mean? Like
What was that? You were getting porn on it?
scores of
Oh,
soccer
scores
matches.
of porn. Okay.
Ah,
You know, results. Sorry, results. Right, results from games.
Is that like in the States they say I'm coming, and
Oh my
England
God.
they say I'm arriving?
results?
wow.
Scores as results of scores. Right.
So you know what?
Anyway,
Scores
just to
is
finish
the
this
famous-
off. Right.
No,
so
but
I couldn't delete them. Right. So it's like say Man United, whatever, 5-0. I thought, shit, I was going to watch that later today. Right. So I thought I've got to get rid of this. So I went back to Kudo at the booth, and there's a girl there, right? And I told her what it was, and she said, "Well, what was it?" And I said, "Well, I was notifications or whatever." But what did it look like? I said, "It said notifications, but I can't find where it is to switch it off." And I'm getting these. I want to watch a game. I know the result of it.
yeah.
So she said, "Oh, well," she had it to a ding, whatever. I said, "I think that might work." So I said, "Oh, great." I said, "Well, the only thing is that I don't really know much about Samsung Galaxy phones." because I only know about iPhones.
iPhones.
And I
Yeah.
thought, like, well, great, but this
That's your first problem right there.
This is where I
Yeah.
bought it from. Like that's that, you know. So all right. So anyway, I thought that's kind of weird, but she did fix it.
Good.
It's like, sorry, we don't deal in those, you know, but we sell them.
Poor Derek.
Not
Yeah.
having problems.
He's got the wheel of death up there.
Yeah,
I know, eh?
Yeah, it's the
We'll just give ourselves some more room here on the screen till he comes back.
I heard that people that have iPhones have a lower IQ than people that have the other phones.
Oh,
Did
really?
you know that? Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't know. I can't.
Apple does everything for you. You don't get to do anything or change anything or modify anything. Whereas Samsung, you can do everything and personally make it your own.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You know what I'm finding though is Google, like and Alexa, they're pretty awesome actually because I'm kind of using vocabulary or I'm asking things I wouldn't normally ask, and I find that like if you're looking to, for example, I'd be sitting in the room working on some kind of actual work, paid work thing. And I'd ask a question, hey, Google, give me a definition of this or spell that. And it's very productive. And then it goes back to the, the spa meditation music I had on in the background.
I want to ask Kathy, do you have an iPhone?
She does, actually.
There you go.
I'm guessing.
With you, Ringo, because like at work, I'll be listening to my podcast, right? And I have to work, and then sometimes people call, so I don't like to stop. So I have my earpiece in, right? And I get the call, and hey, read the text or read my email or read that or answer the call, right? It's great.
Yeah.
Technology's awesome.
Hey,
It is.
Hey, Kathy, did you
Hey,
know
that's a nice
that
hat.
Apple now makes a vacuum cleaner? It's the first thing they made that doesn't suck.
Oh dear.
There we go.
It's amateur night
Cheers.
tonight.
Cheers. It sure is.
It's bollocks, says Kathy.
Bollocks,
Do you know-
yeah.
Have you heard the term?
Well-
Have you ever heard the term? It's the dog's bollocks. Have you heard that?
No.
Is that would be the dog's balls or what?
Yeah.
But if you say like it's an English term and you go, it's the dog's bollocks. You know what that
Like
means?
the bee's knees, but the English.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. It's the dog's bollocks.
It's like this album is the bee's knees.
Yeah,
It's like the dog's bollocks.
there it is. That's it.
There you go. Richard has an IQ. Uh-huh.
You're on fire, Heiko.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, quick, put it out.
I'm gonna say having an Android or having an iPhone, what does it really matter? That's like such a first world problem.
It's the same as, do you want a Ford or a GM? Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just some way to take your money for making your life a little easier.
I know a guy, he was Apple mental, and he used to go anytime they came out with a brand new phone. He was the guy that stood outside the store the day before to spend $1,100-$1,200 on a stupid new phone.
$2,000 for the new one.
Yeah, mental. That's what I mean. Even like the iPads and the computers.
Like really, right?
Well, it takes pictures at night. This isn't it. This is an old one, right? But it's. I'll let you know in a couple weeks.
You know what? I think good use of. So you want to have the look, touch, and feel of a device, right? So I think it's got the look. You can easily explain that one. Touch, it's got the nice touch screen, and you've got it, and you're carrying it around. It always winds up in your back pocket instead of one of those big, tanks you strap on your belt. But then the feel of it is when you hook it up to adult toy devices that you can activate through the internet. So that's the feel part that I think
you don't need vibrating painting controllers. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying allegedly
Your
you can
flashlight
use it.
can. Oh, your flashlight. Can
Allegedly you can use.
rotate?
No, but how cool is that? So like, think about it.
Yeah.
Your mate is halfway across the world, and you
Yep.
can buzz them anytime you want. So
See, and
Yeah.
the biggest problem that they made the Apple phones so thin that all the girls stick them in their back pocket and they keep breaking the screens.
yeah,
I mean, all the girls.
I
The
broke
girls
my.
Girls are huge in sticking them in the back pocket.
Yeah.
So you see, Samsung has a phone now. It just folds in half, and you stick it in your
Mm.
pocket. You're not going to break your screen. Pretty cool, huh?
Good thinking. Good thinking. Like, remember the days of beepers when you get the beeper would go off? Did you ever
Well,
beeper?
yes,
Yeah.
I do. I
Oh,
remember beepers.
shit,
Yeah.
I need a phone.
And you look at it, and it has a phone number on it. Now you have to go
Find
to
the
your
phone
phone
booth.
to phone the number.
You're
Yeah.
on the 401, and it's like, oh crap. You know?
Oh, Kathy's saying after the third time of my phone calling the same person during mating time, it was time to go back to the iPhone.
Yeah.
What are you using your phone for?
Why is
Well,
the phone even near you?
No, but you know what? Sometimes people will accidentally dial the phone,
Yeah.
or the last friend or person they talked to, dial the phone, okay?
While you're patting the
And
cat.
well, you could be doing anything, right? You could be doing some work. You could be doing, you could be, banging like rabbits, but yeah,
the phone
and then
shouldn't
it
be
dials
near
up.
you when you're doing that.
But here's the thing that bothers me about that when it happens.
Your mom didn't hang up?
Right. Like, why doesn't it look like, oh no,
I listened for 20 minutes.
machine gun jump leaves everywhere. But it's like, why don't they just cancel the call? No, they're intrigued. They want to listen. I'm just saying. I don't know if that was what Kathy was referring to.
I remember last time I did that, it was on FaceTime.
Oh, yeah? Perfect.
Yeah, so no, but you can, you know what? Honestly, people have pocket dialed, right? And you're trying to hello, but then you start to hear what they're doing, and it's like,
Are
wow,
they in trouble?
yeah.
Yeah, but see, the only reason why your phone will do anything when it's in your pocket is because the user or the owner of that phone was not smart enough to turn on the failsafe so that doesn't happen.
That's
So
not true. I do it all the time, and I'm smart enough. It's just sometimes I play with my phone, right? I'm busy, fidgety, so the phone's now. You touch it and it turns on, right? You just touch it with your finger. So I could be sitting there just tapping my phone, and it turns on, and it'll dial someone. So it's not because I don't have my failsafe on. It's because I'm fucking.
No, you don't, because mine, it has accidental screen touch, and when you pick it up, when you move it, it comes on. All that stuff can be turned off, so your phone is not functional or won't open any apps unless you put in a key or your
Anywhere
fingerprint
else
or
the phone
something.
won't do that. It's just the one spot. It's the thumb pad, right? It takes it does my thumbprint. So I even have to have it the right way. But if I just tap it, sometimes it grabs it. Like nobody
thumb
can get
pad
into that
will.
right now, right? Doesn't even turn on until I hit it with my thumb.
So, in the absence of a guest tonight, like, first of all, let's do the backside.
Oh, all right.
Oh, hey, yeah.
And then,
an idea.
And then what we talked about doing is maybe, like, we interview guests a lot, and we lately, but maybe we can interview each other. That might be a bit of a hoot.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's see if we can do this in a random way here. Let me see if I do. Okay, hey, look at there we go. Okay, so Ringo, you are going to be the person to be interviewed.
You're in the hot seat, Ringo.
But let's start with George, and he can show us his backside first.
Let's start with yes. We'll go back to this and do George.
Make George bigger.
Hey, Rhonda.
Make George bigger.
Make me bigger.
Yeah, I'm trying to. One second.
Okay.
You
I hit
can't
the
make
wrong
them
one.
bigger. Hey, there
Yeah,
you
I
go.
can
That's
make
all that
it big.
matters.
I can make it
That's all that matters.
Oh, why won't it go up? Come on. There we go.
I don't know. Look at my Halloween haunt.
Oh man, I can't put him up. Why won't he let him go up?
What? George?
What did
Okay.
I do?
It's as big as I'm going to be.
That's because the
No.
computer wants to hear the voice of an angel.
So let me
You put him up.
get.
There you go.
There we
There
go.
we are. Very
In the
psychedelic.
studio.
Mm.
Wow, that looks very cool.
A well-worn cover.
Wow.
Round. It's not a York peppermint. Yeah, don't. I can't see any songs, George. In the studio.
Yeah.
Psychedelic.
That's all you're getting. That's all you get.
Very psychedelic.
Is it 60s?
Yeah, late 60s.
Late 60s.
Got
so
the third eye in
70s.
there too. I think it's gonna be Led Zeppelin.
No.
It's not Led Zeppelin.
I'm trying to think.
Well, I can do this.
Door.
Damn fear.
I can give you one of these for that.
Oh, thanks for that. It looks like Genesis.
Genesis.
No, Genesis.
I was answering on Kathy.
I want to. I feel like this is more like a soul or hip or R&B album. It's not rock, is it?
It is a rock album.
Oh.
Wow.
Looks like Cream, Wheels of Fire.
Is that Richard?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Richard.
Nice job, Richard. Wow. Richard is a star.
Wheels of Fire.
Wow, you really taped that up good, didn't you?
I did. Well, I did that because of Derek, because he tries to read through the tapes.
Yeah, he does.
He cheats.
He does.
He cheats. He's looking for
We should call him Derek the Nefarious.
song titles. Well, it was a double album, actually. It came out as a double album.
Derek the Nefarious one.
Wheels of Fire.
Oh, very cool.
Hey,
That's a
this is
great
Cream
album.
George Andrew.
That is a really cool album cover.
It's, there was a studio album and there was a live album. It was like a double album. It's two albums together. 1969, I believe.
Right on.
Used to play it to death. Used to play it to death
Good
on
call,
one of my
Richard.
friends.
I think you should play some of it now.
No, we'll get pulled off the air. Like
Yeah, no kidding.
I knew it was going to happen. Like even George's trailer, right? Like
Uh-huh.
we got
Yeah,
by,
that's
and
weird.
then all of a sudden, wham!
I've played that. Never.
Yeah, but come on, Casey and the Sunshine Band, are they still alive?
Yeah, they are. Hey, I was on a plane. Now this was a while ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, with KC.
Yeah.
And his band, they were going out to play at Rama. So
Yep. I probably
it
saw
was
that one.
cool. I was sitting with the drummer.
Wow.
Oh, the drum, all right. Well, I'll tell you what, Heiko, you'd know that it's still around because if you watch the Atomic Ballrooms Tuesdays at 7:30, you'd know we play the new track called Romantica. So
Nice.
So you obviously don't
I have never heard of it.
That's okay.
I'll have to definitely go on and check that out.
It's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, but so you're on Twitch, right? With
Yeah,
that?
Twitch. Yeah.
See, that's my problem. I don't have Twitch.
Really?
No,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, we have a
Get it.
we have a cut from KC every week. Can be an album track, can be the B-side. Not necessarily one of his big ones.
Amazing band, though, right?
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of people that do all these different have these different apps. Like I know a lot of people on TikTok. I've tried TikTok time and time again. I can't do it.
Yeah, but you gotta.
So
a little blurry.
before we get into this interviewing thing, there's like good news on the music front because the capacities are up now, which is great because that is certainly one of my biggest concerns. Like, how do you get enough capacity to pay for the entertainment and staffing?
That's right.
So there's some bars that now are just getting a lift. Our friends at the Rock Pile, obviously they've gone from about a 140 or 75 capacity up to pretty much, I guess, full tilt. And but I thought
That's
when
great.
we went there, they were super responsible with all the COVID rules and everything. So that's
Yeah.
great. And then
Everybody
obviously you got to
in there
be
had to sign it.
double vaxxed to get into these places because it's like the restaurant type of thing. And then a little birdie told me that the music hall, the new music hall, might be up sometime in January. So that would be good. And then the Biltmore, which was the old music hall, they're continuing to do shows. And actually, the owner for the Biltmore passed away not too long ago. I think about a month and a half ago or something like that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, pretty weird situation there, but they're continuing on. They have a couple of promoters working in there, so they're continuing their shows. But it's good to see the Durham scene will kind of be back at it. I know of rumblings of in fact, another venue starting in Durham, which that would be cool. And I understand it's going to be more of a very hard rock sort of metal vibe to it. So, but yeah, it's happening. And then I've got a buddy who's a couple actually that do promoting down at downtown, and as you can see, a lot of those bars are, some of them are backing up and running, like El Mucambo and stuff like that. Really cool. So, and then Derek, you've been playing bars. You played you played a club on the weekend. That looked like a fabulous stage, by the way.
Yeah, it was. It's a smaller venue, right? I think it's about 120 people.
Yeah.
It was called Old E765, which obviously is the address in London. But yeah, man, what a great place. They were allowed to have people up on the dance floor again, right?
Yeah.
So people standing, you had to have masks on while you were standing, but just being able to interact with people again. Oh my God, what a difference, right? It's you could play to 200 people sitting down and play to 10 people standing up. It's huge difference. Huge.
Yeah.
It was a nice, the picture of the stage and everything was super cool. And then of course you guys liven it up with your animation and stuff. Is really neat. So Derek's saying I guess looks like the Phoenix might be in trouble, but that's a landmark. Who knows? Maybe they'll get back on track.
Yeah,
but
how many landmarks?
Richard has an inside track on a lot of entertainment happening. So, and then Kathy is saying that the Drake has a new club called History.
No, not the Drake.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Well, let's hope the Phoenix doesn't take on the History name as well. But anyway, that was a little update. So it sounds exciting, and it's kind of getting back to somewhat normal. However, 388 cases reported yesterday, and several of those were people who were already vaxxed.
Yep.
Yeah, a good portion of that. So who knows? It might be the variant. I don't know much about the details, but we still got to watch ourselves out there. So,
well, there's been whispers as well of all this stuff going away by March.
Yep.
All the COVID crap is going to be gone.
Yeah.
So
England already has completely boycotted it, and Germany and France are in that too. They just said no, having nothing to do with this anymore. So we'll just have to watch the world and see what happens.
So if my image is blown up, I'm sure it's not because I'm a sexy motherfucker, but it could be.
We're gonna ask you questions.
You're gonna ask me questions.
Yeah.
For the bad language, but we have that disclaimer at the beginning, and
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Why are you wearing that hat, not the one that's behind you?
It fits better.
Well, because I put it there in case I wanted to change it, but I was advised that it might not I might not use it tonight. Somebody said I looked like a dork.
Oh,
Wow.
you listen to what people say?
Yeah.
Who cares what people say? How old are
Well,
you
it's
now?
the way I wear it, right? With the hey.
With the hoe.
Well, you're no kids. You shouldn't play with fire. Okay, shoot.
All right,
I'll
George.
I'll answer anything. Anything
We'll start
that
at
you
the
have.
bottom and work our way up.
Anything that you, any
Start at the
questions
bottom,
you
yeah.
have that are below the waist, I'll take.
Started
Start
at the bottom, now we're here.
That's right.
Speaking of Drake.
What? 3 inches. I donated it from the
Wow.
floor. Okay, so next question.
It's me. Who's
Jesus.
asking? Who's asking?
We are.
Uh-oh.
So is it all right? Are we taking it in turn? Is it my turn?
Anybody, just go.
Rico, what
Yeah, start at the
inspired
bottom.
you? What inspired you to get in a rock and roll band?
What inspired me to get into a rock and roll band?
Other than the chicks. Other than the chicks. Which
Yeah,
obviously it was.
I think that would have come without a band naturally, but the I think well, here's the interesting thing. When I was I was pretty young. I was maybe 10, but my grandfather taught me how to play some acoustic guitar, and he was a big Johnny Cash fan, but he also wrote a lot of his own stuff. So I remember, spending a lot of time with him doing that. And then one day I got this urge, and I think I must have been around 10, and I wrote a song. And to this day, that song is a little haunting because it's an original that I wrote when I was so young, but it makes so much sense.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to, do something with it because lyrically it was pretty brilliant for somebody young. But so I kind of self-taught myself everything and wrote the lyrics, and I sat in the back of my dad's pickup truck out by the driveway. And we lived by this beach where all these, people would be walking in droves down to the beach in their,
Yep.
man thongs and bikinis and stuff. So I sat there in this chair in the back of the truck, and it was almost like this stage, and I play this song continuously all day long. Then I kind of, people would stop, and then I got my buddy to start a lemonade stand next to the truck. So we did that for a while. It was kind of a hoot, right? And I don't know, there was a feeling that I had about performing that was either going to lead me into a music career, or maybe doing porn. But I really couldn't. I wasn't there yet, right? So I had to
grow a little bit more, and
had to grow vertically and horizontally to really figure that out. And then I figured, well, yeah, I'm definitely not porn quality because I don't have the stamina a porn guy would have. No, but George, no, I had a desire to do something with it at a young age. And then I was told I was in a band playing guitar. I was a rhythm guitar player for quite a good band, actually. And we actually made a lot of money when we were in high school. But I was told I couldn't sing, right? The singer was like, it's a good friend of mine. He's kind of like Geddy Lee, played bass, and he was a great singer, really high range, and just discouraged me as far as singing went, and said, "Hey, you know what? You suck at backup, so you'll never be anything more."
Really? Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and then from there, I discovered that I wasn't half bad. Tried out for a few bands, didn't make it at the time, but I found out who I was competing against, and it was like, wow, might have something. So I ended up singing, and then I've done some shows where I sing and play guitar and stuff like that too. So
cool.
So Richard's asking a question: if you would put together a band of whoever you wanted, using only Ontario musicians, famous or otherwise, who would you have in the band and why? Well, I'd have to say on guitar, Phil from Motor City Maniacs. I mean, he's a super great friend, like a brother, and we just click at all levels. And when we write together, it's just smooth. I don't know where it comes from, but so definitely Phil, bass player. I have a buddy up in Sudbury, Brent. He's battling cancer right now, but amazing bass player. Him and I spent like oodles of time on the road. Just simply amazing. And then I guess on drums, I'd probably give Derek a shot.
Let me try it anyways, eh?
No, I think Derek's a great drummer. And there's a ton of drummers out there. You know, I got some friends. I got some, younger.
I wouldn't even pick me to be the drummer in my own band with some of the drummers I know.
There you go. So, and I think I always wanted to get back to having a keyboard player in the band, and a buddy of mine, I call him Danny Keys. It's Dan Mongrain, and he's just an amazing keyboard player. I like keyboard because it just gives you a range of things you can sort of discover.
All right, Heiko, you got a question for him?
Yeah. Where did the saying "voice of an angel" come from?
Well, haven't you heard him?
That's why I'm asking the question.
Next question.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I've heard the term before, and
So,
I've claimed it as my own.
Something must have happened. Right? Okay.
No, I just claimed it as my own because I think ultimately you probably can't get any higher than a voice of an angel, right? So, yeah, I mean, I know it's somewhat not so humble, but hey, let's call a
spade.
A spade.
Exactly. That's my alien voice of an angel right there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
There's certain things though, like when you're a singer, it's kind of like, there's definitely on stage you need to have confidence, and you don't have to be arrogant in that, but I think you gotta carry yourself well, and you sort of gotta step up to the what the crowd wants and everything. So you gotta.
Well, it was apparent when we went to the open mic there. You said, "There's no way I'm getting up on this freaking stage and singing." And
oh yeah.
And as soon as a couple of people found out you could sing, here, come on, everybody bugged you, and you got up there, buddy. You rocked it. You did great.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, I hadn't really sang live since COVID started. I think when they opened it up to small groups, I think the code came over, and we had a few people. Kathy was there, and some others, but I think it might have been from T. Williams or whatever. But so it was a small group, so I set up karaoke in the backyard, and it was a lot of fun. But other than that, haven't been doing anything. I did recently go rehearse with a band that was looking for a singer out in Hamilton area, and so we're supposed to get together again, but a bunch of good players, and all randoms from they're random to me because I don't really know them, but they all play in different bands, all quite good.
What did you
So what's going on with the Maniacs? What's going on with that?
Well, right now, actually, it's funny you ask, because I was just talking to Phil a couple of days ago, and I was over at Brian's recently, and we were, kind of experimenting with the devil's lettuce and stuff like that, a few drinks. But he's good to go, right? So we'll see. I'm not pushing it right now because a couple of the guys felt strongly about getting together and then not getting together because of pre-existing sort of conditions and stuff, which I fully respect. The way I look at it right now is that if it takes a few more months or a year or something like that, we're going to come back to it. It's a project that we've invested in, and we want to see happen. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of push from a couple of the guys to like, what are we doing? And the album that never was, and all of that. But yeah, Junior actually reached out to me, and he wants to, I guess, start spinning it on his show.
Yeah,
but
he does.
We should do a proper release. But
next time you talk to Phil, tell him Heiko says hi, and I want to have a shot of 40 Creek with him.
Yeah, well, maybe we can make that happen. Take a spin out to his place. He's well set up. Yeah, and he was actually in a
owner to Ghost Town, and we can all I can meet him and we can jam and.
Oh, to the jam on Friday. Yeah, that would be. He'd be into that for sure. Yeah,
do it.
That would be great.
Yeah,
he plays bass.
What's that?
He plays bass,
guitar.
He plays guitar. Yeah, he's great. He really is. He's just the creativity part of it. He used to play in a cult tribute band years ago, and yeah, he had the hair and everything. But yeah, just I don't know. There's something about it. We when we met,
the haircut.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But Phil's, we got a lot in common. We like guns. We like off grid. We're kind of rednecks in our own right. So proud of it.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think that's it for me, guys.
Don't I have to ask a question?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
What's the hardest thing to mentally get over preparing for a show? Make you all vulnerable and shit.
The hardest thing mentally preparing for a show.
Yeah.
Well, I always have a little bit of a ritual, and it's really my biggest fear is somehow losing my voice, right? And when I used to tour, not getting enough sleep or whatever, that can happen. And so I learned my lessons early, and unfortunately, like we were in a A-list club circuit, and you don't want to do that too many times. So, but it all had to do with late night partying into the next day, lots of drinking and everything else, and I realized that I can't do this. So I dialed it down. What was interesting too is it creeps up on you. So my drummer at the time, Pete, in the back of the drum riser, we would bring our own bottles of booze, and we had these foam packs, and we'd stuff them in there. So we'd order like basically mix at the clubs, and so after a while, and this was like a sacred thing, right? Pete didn't really share it with many people, and then I was musician number 47 for that band. It had been around for a while. So finally he says, okay, well, this is what we got going on back here. Do you want to get some booze? So I'm like, I'll get like a Mickey for the weekend. And then we did a lot. And I think that one year we played, out of 52 weeks, I think we played almost 49 or 50 weeks in an entire year. So it was a lot of playing. Wow. Yep. So we would always, just cram that sucker with booze. But I started with a Mickey. Then that, when you're doing a show, you're active, you're sweating, you're gonna work some of that alcohol off. But it quickly turned into a 26-ounce bottle over a weekend, then 26-ounce bottle every night. So. But I learned my lesson almost the hard way. I actually was coming back one night in the middle of winter, and stopped at some train tracks with my sports car that was actually standard, and it was running, and I was waiting for the slow train to go by, and I guess I fell asleep. And I all of a sudden I open my eyes and it's daylight, and I'm literally a foot away from these tracks. So after that, I'm like, nope, not going to do it anymore. So I just kind of, I was drinking water and pop. That was about it. That was my party lifestyle. And I, right after the show, I'd hit the sack, and guys would be up partying all night and lock my door, and that would be it. So.
All right. Well, let's see. George, it's your turn.
I'm in the hot seat.
Okay, I'll take this. Oh, sorry, Hike. Did you?
No problem. So, George, I noticed online you have lots and lots and lots of photos that go way back to when you were had the long hair and the bigger mustache and all that stuff. So you have pretty much your whole history. You have it all saved up in albums, or what? How did you start that?
I used to have them in albums, yeah. But now I transferred a lot to disc, and then I'm onto USBs and that, yeah. But I don't know how I never set out to do that, but there was always a camera around. I was a camera, and I just kept them all.
Yeah, but a lot of these photos too are pictures of you, so you're not taking the pictures. So somebody must have given you all these photos through all the years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I must have. I guess we did have cameras. You know what I mean? I mean, the thing is, I do regret not having taken more pictures myself. Like the first club gig I ever had, like the residency I had. I don't have a single picture somehow. I don't know. Not one from Your Father's Moustache, it was called. And but then a friend of mine, I did a show. I had to go down to London to do it. It was like it was on. I don't know if you guys have heard of Radio Luxembourg. It was like an AM station, but it went right across Europe at night. And they played music.
Right.
I'd been DJing about 6 years, and I went down there to do like this 1 hour show that would go out all over Europe at their studios, like not live, but pre-recorded at the London studio, then it'd go out. And a friend of mine, Steve McGarry, he said, take a camera with you, take some pictures, And ever since then, I remember carrying a camera. That was 1978. Trying to remember pictures, but before that, I wasn't really, But I used to take a lot of photographs at family events, like Christmas and get-togethers and all that. And I drove everybody nuts because I was like the guy in the corner taking the pictures, and everyone hated me. They're all like, "Get out of here!" But after down the years, everyone's going, "Oh, it's fantastic! You got all these pictures of the family, the get-togethers." So. But in the end, I got fed up of all the abuse, and I stopped doing the family pictures because it's like, geez, no one appreciates the fact I'm trying to document family history here. So, but I don't know.
George,
there's some pictures there. Like you just reminded me, I have no idea who took them.
So idea. You didn't have some hot chick with a camera follow you around and snap all these photos all those years, or what?
A hot chick with a camera? I don't think so. It was a long time ago. I can't remember.
So George Richards asking, what's your oldest record and / vinyl, and what is your most treasured record and vinyl /vinyl?
Well, I've still got the first album I ever bought, and I've still got the first 45s I ever bought. The first 45 I ever bought was the first Who single. I've got all their stuff, all the UK releases, all on everything, albums, 45s, and the first record I ever bought is the most treasured one because I saved up my money. I was like 13, And it was when Cat Stevens first came out, and he was like a pop star. He wasn't the guy, the beard and the guitar. He was like this, pop idol kind of guy. And I went out and got his first album, and that would have been 1967, March 1967. And I still have it in glorious mono. So that's the one. Yeah. In fact, my son, as a Christmas present a couple of years ago, got me 2 T-shirts, a black one and a white one, and he got the album on it. I've just got the album cover on the front of the T-shirt because that was the first album I ever owned. I'm so proud of it, and it still plays great. I'd be cleaning it, little thing, so you get all the thumbprints off it, be really careful with it. So that's probably the most treasure, because it started me off on record. I never thought about collecting records. I like music, thought of listening to it and playing it, but it never occurred to me to become a vinyl junkie, which I became. I just became anything. Yeah.
Wow.
Vinyl junkie and shit collector, basically.
So I guess
tickets from concerts, you name it, I've kept them all.
Do you have other collections, George, that you like besides albums? Like, do you collect other things?
Like I said, I've got pretty much 99%, well, maybe 90% of every concert I've ever been to.
Right, you collect tickets.
I've got them. Yeah.
Oh.
I've collected all kinds of stuff down the years. Yeah. Some of it is non-PC now, so it's kind of in a box, But there was a thing called Robertson's Jam that had the logo was a gollywog, all right?
Yeah.
And I mean, this is back in the 60s, well, even before that, you could save things and you could get pins of like different ones and things like that. And then little figurines, like a band, like there'd be a saxophone player and a drummer and a guitarist. I used to collect them as a kid, but it's kind of looking back on it, it's kind of strange now.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I used to collect stamps, you name it, coins, all kinds of stuff. Still got a lot of stamps and that, yeah. And then I'd be one of these nerds who would actually have sports stamps, you know what I mean? I'd go on to this, and then I go, oh, okay, animal stamps and things like that, just like nuts.
But you have animal facts on the back of them.
No, proper postage stamps from countries around the world. You get some. The African ones were the best from wherever. They had some belters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've still got some of them as well. Yeah, but then I've got I used to collect all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. All right, whose turn is it to ask George a question now?
Go ahead.
Yours.
All right. Yours. Well, George, let me see here. I got to try and ask a weird question and something that's a little out of the, not most people would ask you.
Okay.
What color are your underwear?
What color is the oldest underwear you own, and when did you buy them? How many holes do they have in them? No,
actually, it's old. I got like about 20 pairs about 2 months ago.
Oh, right. So you're all fresh.
So all the old stuff out and got all the new ones in, yeah.
My door just opened. It's like a ghost was in here, or a little dog.
Ooh.
Okay, so anyways, George.
Yeah.
So you've DJ'd in Toronto, up in the CN Tower, and at a bunch of clubs.
Yeah. Well, not so many clubs in Toronto. I was there about over 9 years at the top of the tower.
Right. Well, okay, so parties and weddings and stuff. What I'm trying to say is you've been around a lot of drunk people.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me a funny drunk people or just a drunk person story that really one of the ones you'll never forget.
Well, there's been lots, but one immediately springs to mind. I don't know if I've even ever mentioned this before, but I was doing. There's a friend of mine who was a DJ that I used to give gigs to, and he was getting married, and he wanted me as the DJ, and like a year away and all that. And he said September, whatever it was, this would be year 2000, somewhere around there. And he said, George, I want you booked on this date. Don't take anything. I said, okay, John. And anyway, the year sort of progressed, and they said, I'll come and see you about a month before the wedding just to finalize all the details and everything. That's all I knew. I had a date, and that was it, right? And he said because his mum was from England, and he thought it'd be great to have an English DJ at his wedding, right? So I thought, okay, yeah, sure, John. I said, have you got any more people coming from England? Well, yeah, there's a few coming over from England as well. I said, okay. So anyway, it turns out I can't remember the name of the hall, but it was in Woodbridge. It was an Italian hall.
In Woodbridge?
In Woodbridge, yeah, go figure. And I said, like, John, like, how many guests are there? He goes, about 270, somewhere around there. I said, oh, great. And how many are coming over from England? He went, about 10. Right. And he was marrying an Italian girl, right? And I said, right, John. I said, well, like, she's Italian, right? Like, I can't remember her name now. Maria, I think. Yeah, Maria. He said, yeah, but you know how hard I had to fight you because everyone wanted an Italian DJ at this wedding. John. I said, like, John, it's like, you're saying there's like 270 people, 10 from England. Where are they from? So, oh, they're all like Maria's family. I said, John, it's an Italian wedding. Like, why am I there? Anyway, we flipped to the actual night, and it's going great. It's going great. And the first sign I got of like, hang on, was this guy who comes up to me because I'm on like a riser, older guy, and he goes, nicer job, but you have a card? And I went, yeah, sure, he has a card. And he like looks at the card, and he like looks back at me, like looks at the card. He comes back, he gives me the card back. He goes, you're not Italian. So gave me the business card back, right? So I thought, well, okay, but that's okay. I won't let that bother me, Yeah. So anyway, we get to about midnight, and this woman comes up, and she's hammered. And she's like tottering on these high heels, and she comes up, and she goes, play a tarantella. I went, yeah, sure, no problem, because I've got all that stuff, and I'd got some stuff from her, like Maria and everything, and I thought, okay, so I play this tarantella. And then, like, about 5 minutes later, I'm onto another tune and whatever, and this woman comes up to me again and goes, when are you going to pay my tarantella? And I said, I just played one. She said, oh, I didn't hear it. I said, okay, give me about 10, 15 minutes. It's like getting late now, it's like towards the end of the night.
Yeah. And
I said, no. I said, no problem. So I got another one on, right? And I'm like, she's on the floor. I can see her coming over, and she's like, where's my tarantella? So I've played two now in the space of like 20 minutes, right? And it's like, okay, right, I'll get you one, right? Anyway, she starts really giving it to me, heckling me from the dance floor, and everyone's starting to look around a bit, right? It's like my son was with me because he was just helping me, right? James, he was like 15 maybe at the time. Anyway, this woman was just driving me nuts. She's like shouting, and she's like right at the edge of the stage, and she's, you're not playing my time, and she's just out of a tree, right? So I lost it. I lost it with her. And I said, hang on, is this a tarantella? And I started it, right? And she goes, no, it's not. Is this one? Next track. Is this one? And I said, well, you know what? I'm done. Good night. And I just gave the mic and I walked off. I literally walked off. This woman drove me nuts. But I went into, the bit I missed there was I'd been in the next room at one point because there was like three big rooms and there was an Italian DJ, and I told him that story, and he gave me some tarantellas to play. So those are the ones I like finally lost it. I said, that's it, I'm off. So that was probably the most horriblest drunk I had to deal with. She was awful.
Maria, the Italian drunk.
Somebody's Nona.
Yeah.
No, my tarantella.
She wasn't an older lady. She was like, whatever. And, but she at one point, one of the times she came up, she had this long dress on. She tried to lift it like these heels over. I thought she was going to come and headbutt the equipment because she's like coming onto the stage. I thought, geez,
Wow.
So, yeah. But there have been others. That was the major one. And it just, And I'd forgot about that for a long time. And then James reminded me, he said, Dad, do you remember then we're talking wherever? He goes, do you remember the night that you walked off? I went, what? And I went, oh yeah. That woman drove me nuts. Yeah, that's it. I'm off. I'm out of here. And he had to finish the night off.
So George,
Wow.
I guess my question, well, just a little bit of a, I guess if you like when I look at you're so all about the history and you've been persistent as being a DJ throughout, many years and done a lot of different things. And like, we're very honored to have you on the show because, it's like having our own celebrity. If anybody's close to celebrity, it would be you. No, I think you gotta look at, absolutely, you're like a music historian and you've collected all of this stuff, music, like, vinyl and everything else, anything musically related. And I can see your reel to reel in the back hanging on the wall, I think.
Yeah.
But, so I think, you've mentioned to me a couple of times about making up some memoirs and kind of taking that documentation and doing something with it. I think that's an absolute bestseller right there. If you can get that out. And
it's pretty boring, actually. It's not,
I don't think so. I think because you bring hope to a lot of, there's a lot of professions, like even being a musician, right? That I was listening to something the other day that, what the heck's his name? Very, very famous young guy, plays a lot of acoustic stuff, but he started, and he was told at one point that, hey, you know what, you could probably make some money doing this.
Who Ed Sheeran?
Yes, it was Ed Sheeran.
Ed Sheeran, okay.
Yeah, and so, and he does, obviously very well, but he does it for the love of it, and the money came later because he's so darn good at it.
Right.
And then I was listening to a program recently where, what was it? Piano Man.
Billy Joel.
Yeah. So, and he had the exact same experience. He was very good at what he did, and he was told one day that, hey, you can probably make money doing this, right? As a DJ, I'm not going to say it's a lost art at all, because there are DJs out there that make, over $1 million a year, but they do a lot of marketing, especially in Australia. There's a lot of just world famous DJs, and in New York and everything else. But I think the point is that you'd be like an inspiration to anybody that wants to make a career of it. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy, but you found a way to sustain a career, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the real story behind George, and the fact that you've documented, and that's pretty invaluable, right? A lot of people don't do that. I mean, how you get to a point, unfortunately, where things get forgotten over time. And I'm not talking about you particularly, but I mean, just as we age and all of that. And you've documented that. You've documented it, and if you can get it out there and sort of pass it on, I think that's fabulous. I've never met somebody who's been a quote professional DJ and made a lifetime career of it, except meeting you.
Really,
so that was good.
Yeah, I've done all kinds of stuff. I dabbled in radio and way back and over here and back in England, and found it wasn't really what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? It's being out on the road, being the guy with people like in front of, not necessarily like the Italian lady, but it's just there's something about that. To me, it's great. Whether you're doing a corporate function, or whether you're doing, well, I wouldn't do them now, like, grade 8, lunchtime, dances to retirements, just everything, you name it. It's just, you get a buzz, right? And I like it. It's not
absolutely
the world's greatest money, but it's just, if you can like do something like that and pay the bills, most of the time, it's like what happens. What I always used to say, January, February were always the quiet months. So you'd have to have a good December just to see over those months. I think if you do all those things, you could do it. And I was very fortunate in being in the right place at the right time.
And there's a big parallel to musicians, right? Because for the same reasons that you chose to do what you do, and the sort of feeling you get from it is exactly the same reason I chose to be a musician, and likely Derek has something similar, but we do it for the love of it. And I believe, honestly, I believe there should be, like after COVID and all of that, we should have I'd love to see the union back for both anybody in entertainment, like DJs, musicians, people like Big Daddy Red, Sword Swallowers, because it's more than a passion. I mean, people will come and see your act over and over again if you're good at it, right? But there needs to be, I think, something there to continue that legacy.
Yeah. I mean, like you were saying before, what's the thing that worries you is like I think the difference. I remember somebody not that long ago saying to me, DJ is almost like being a stand-up comedian, because you're just on your own. Like you're on it, and some nights you don't know what, you go into somewhere, you don't know what response you get. You play certain tunes that would normally work well somewhere, suddenly boom, they're just flat. You know what I mean? They go, uh-oh. And it's like I was always envious of bands at gigs, like if it, because they could turn around and have a laugh and they could back each other up, right?
Yeah.
And then I would come on or whatever, and that was it. There's no one there. There's just me, right? So you had to like roll with the punches or whatever if it wasn't going great.
Yeah,
And
read a crowd and see what they want, right?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that, and so I never had a preconceived notion. I'm not saying every gig, but you just don't know what to expect, so you don't plan anything really. Just make sure you've got all your ammunition ready, right? So if it goes like this, if it goes like that, maybe it'll go the other way. That kind of thing. So you got to be prepared.
It's like there's this gap, right? So there's a DJ space where you're going to play clubs, you're going to play different events, but then there's sort of this gap, and then all of a sudden you've got these DJs who are world famous, like Jonathan from Korn, right? He'll DJ in New York, and he's very sought after. And then there's a woman called her name's Tagger Lily out of Australia, and I mean, she drives a Lamborghini, so she's doing okay. But it's, I guess I'm not sure how a DJ bridges that gap, but it has probably something to do with marketing part of it.
And you develop a following, like you have a regular following. A lot of those people.
All about the remix, Dead Mouse.
Dead Mouse 5 or whatever.
Well, I'm not very technical, so I was never going to go down that route.
Two turntables and a microphone.
But your stories are actually pretty amazing, George. I mean, they're, you got, some of them are like, there are a lot of, I like listening to them. Sometimes, you've got a lot of detail behind it and you remember this stuff. I mean, I suffer from CRS, which is full-blown craft disease now, which is can't remember a friggin' thing. But, when you can story tell like that, absolutely get that, sometime, I don't think the book would be boring at all. It's just, what is the book portrayed? Is it, I think it's this long road, historical road, that you've been on and documented everything along the way. Like the pictures you post I think are pretty intriguing. I look at them and I'm like, wow, this is, it's like, You know, same kind of smile and all of that. You got this consistency about you that's pretty amazing. Because honestly, if you can collect, well, it's that too, the dirt digger. But
it's a trademark. Yeah.
No, but the fact that you can be so regimented on, hey, I'm going to take pictures. I'm going to keep my vinyl. I guess the question I would have is, are there vinyl, are records that you don't have in your collection?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I got rid of a lot. I got rid of a lot of records, but a couple of.
But now they're coming back.
Yeah. There's some stuff I wish I'd hung on to, but I just didn't have room for them anymore. So I didn't really sell them. I tended, I've got, like I mentioned, I've got something for Kathy here by Duran. It's from the Bond movie.
Oh, right.
I'll give them away. I'll give them away to people that want it. I've still got other stuff that I've kept, like picture discs, things like that. But a lot of stuff I just gave away. Like if someone was I knew somebody who was a Madonna fan, right, Toby, and I just gave him all my Madonna albums and 12-inch remixes, everything. Yeah. So no, there's nothing really that I still want. I don't think there is. To be honest.
So Heiko, I think you're up next.
Oh yeah,
my friend. Yeah.
It's Thumb.
Yeah.
Well, fire away.
I actually questioned at the beginning when we were just chatting before we came on about the guitar. How you got your first guitar was an interesting story.
Yeah. Well, I always wanted to play guitar, so I got a acoustic guitar when I was young. I did some lessons and stuff, but I found it very difficult because I had really fat fingers. So I'd always have, I try to do the frets and stuff, and I'd always have a finger touching where it's not supposed to, and then, you know what I'm talking about. The notes would be all
I know
shitty.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I was like, I can't do this, but I still wanted to play. And then I had moved to Ottawa for a temporary job out there, and right at the end of the street where I lived, there was a whole ton of bars. It was freaking awesome, and arcades too. So I used to go hang out there. I was by myself and didn't know anybody. So we did every Wednesday night was mud wrestling. That was awesome. Then some people go, well, what are you talking about? What's mud wrestling? It's great though. And I tell you the one thing about
mud wrestling. Were you mud wrestling or watching other people?
No, I was watching, but you know what? Every single time I came home from there, I had mud on my clothes. So you know where I was sitting.
Yeah.
Right up.
Yeah.
Right?
Why not? Okay.
And then I watched a lot of bands play. And I wish I remember the name of the band, but there was a band I watched one night, and I was mesmerized by the bass player. He was doing all these riffs. He did solos. The bass was loud. His body language was great. And I'm just watching this guy go, oh, my God. I loved it. And I got to buy him a beer, and I talked to him after the show. And long story short, I said, I'd love to learn this instrument one day. So he brought out this old bass, and he showed me a couple of things, and he goes, here, it's yours. And I'm like,
gave it to you.
What?
Wow, that's cool.
Gave it to me.
Wow.
And that didn't inspire you enough to be like a world famous bass player?
Well, my biggest problem was
the
people.
Lucky, and a guy gave you a bass.
People that, yes, I know. I loved it. And I first started playing by myself. So I didn't read.
I got a girlfriend.
Yeah. I didn't read music or nothing like that. So I just practiced by sound, and I would play to Max Webster, Steve Miller. I would just start playing tunes. And I loved it. I had a wicked stereo system too. So I'd crank up the stereo, and I'd crank up my bass, and I'd play along with songs. And that's how I learned. And one day I actually heard this rattling sound, and I thought, oh shit. I turned up my speakers too high or my amp or something. It sounded like a speaker was busted. Yeah. So I turned it down. I checked everything. I turned it back up. I checked everything. everything seemed fine. So I just cranked it up and kept playing. And all of a sudden, I heard a funny sound, but then that funny rattling sound went away. Actually blew the window out of my room.
Oh.
Yeah.
How we were talking.
No, it just broke the window.
So, who was the band? Because for
I
them,
wish I could.
Bass player, the bass are sitting there they could give you. It had to be
One of
somebody
Billy
fairly-
Sheehan's basses
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, I wish I could remember.
It was this little 3-piece band, Push or something. Oh, Rush. That was
Rush. Yeah, that's it.
The bass player's name was Flea or Bug or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're a bar band.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Iron Maiden.
So what is Iron Maiden, a bar band or something?
Yeah, they're a bar band, right?
Iron Maiden. But so Hike, what got you into the whole like the Heikadelic show? I know you used to work this project with Dell, but like how did that start for you?
Well, it was I knew Gary, who's the producer of the station. I knew him through my kids, like from public school. We were just two dads hanging out, waiting for our kids, and we just started chatting one day, and we just became buddies. And he says, "You got to come over one day. I got a studio." So this was before we even had the whole basement done. When you walk downstairs, the far end wall, which would have been the back of the studio, he just had this big chunk of plywood up on like an angle, right? And he had all his gadgets and shit on there, and he had some speakers, and he was tinkering. He was playing back then. He had a little radio thing going.
How long ago was that?
Probably. Oh yeah, it would be 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've all been doing the show now with you for, well,
actually,
2000 years, right?
No, actually, it's longer.
Is it?
It's longer. It would have been 2009.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so, yeah
2009.
Yeah, it's a good run.
Yeah,
I was always.
Yeah, he just invited me into his studio, and I came down one day, and they had a show going. Yeah. And he just goes, "Hey, one of the co-hosts is not here. Why don't you go in there and join them?" And that was the Boys' Night In. I got to meet Mike Kalenko and all those guys, right?
Yeah.
And I started hanging out with them. I did that for a while, probably almost a year.
Yeah.
And then things started to break up because Mike got really sick and he couldn't do it anymore, that kind of stuff. And he just said, why don't you try do something else? Like, this is falling apart. And then I met Dell and I hung out with him for a while, and well, it was good. We had a good run there too. And then I just decided one day I'm gonna go on my own because Dell stopped doing the show. And I still liked it. I wanted to do it. So then I made up the Heikadelic show, right?
Yeah.
And
here we are.
Yeah, I had you on and Terry Code as guests because I wanted to promote music, right?
Yeah.
And you guys had a blast, and you wanted to come on again, so I had you guys come on a couple of times, and then
I think I
didn't work out with Dell.
I think I got roofied that first time, so it kept me coming back,
And then I asked you guys, why don't you come on and be co-host with me? And it just went from there. It was great.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. It's, it's something that, we've been plugging 3 years, almost 3 or 4, maybe.
Yeah.
COVID was, yeah, because we were doing it full bore before COVID. Probably almost a year and a half, 2 years, so.
Yeah, and then I used to travel an hour to get to the studio.
Yeah.
And then remember, we'd do the show, and then we'd have drinks after and food after, and it'd be like 1 o'clock, and it's like, oh, we all got to go home. Now I got to drive an hour in a snowstorm. It's like,
Good times.
Oh yeah.
And Gary, as long as we brought Gary snacks, he was happy. So,
Yep. He loved the snacks.
He did. Yeah.
And then he was the lightweight drunk, so I give him a beer once in a while. And then he started messing up the buttons and everything, right?
oh, really? Yeah, he didn't seem
Oh,
to be
yeah.
much.
He had one beer, and that was it. Woo!
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
And now I got you guys with me. Isn't that great?
Yeah,
Here we are.
we are here, but we have to sign off because it's 11 o'clock.
Oh, well, are you not going to let George ask his question?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Didn't you ask? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
George.
George
No,
did.
you're the
Yeah,
you're the only one who's been talking, Ringo.
Am I asking Derek? Is that what you mean?
You're asking Heiko a question.
I did.
He did.
I
was the
thought he
first
did.
one. It's your turn, Derek.
How we
Oh,
got
yeah, you did. You did. Oh, yeah. Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you already asked
Well,
the
then, yeah,
question,
we can wrap
didn't
it
you?
up.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah.
Fire away, Derek. Make it quick.
It's been a long night.
Yeah, it has. No, I keep on cutting out, so I don't know what I'm hearing. Heiko, let's see. Well,
Yes.
you kind of asked the question I was going to ask, but how did you decide to meet these two or get these two guys on here?
Well, I knew Terry from work, Terry Code.
Yeah.
And
You work at API?
No, Naranko.
Okay, different. Okay.
So yeah, we met there, we chatted, and blah blah. We became buddies, and I came out and see him play a couple of times. And at one time we were out, and he introduced me to Johnny Ringo, and I go, "Oh, he's got a band too." And so we went out to see him play, and it was awesome. And I even did. What was that one night there, Ringo? Both your bands played at the music hall, and I emceed it with Del.
Right. That was something that Wicked This Way Comes, which was
Yes.
God Helmet, Tears of a Deity. There was another band there that was actually, they played Vulcan.
Yes.
Oh, I can't even remember the name of them, but
they're pretty
awesome.
I actually have the poster here. I just can't think where it is.
Yeah, and
then
we were headlining. It was our show, and Something Wicked This Way is one of the tracks on our album.
Yeah.
So,
But so I became buddies with these two guys, and then I thought, okay, let's try and promote local music, because I hear that's the thing that's hard to get. So that's where I started with both of these bands, and I brought them on as guests, and we played their tracks. And I still remember Terry, he was sitting there listening, and we had a call come from Sweden saying, "Oh my God, I love your music. Where can I get it?" And he was just blown away that the radio show give them that type of exposure, that they're heard all over the world.
Yeah.
Right. And then, yeah.
It took the globe to find the one fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
7 languages.
I used to bug Terry about that all the time. And then, of course, the mishap where his T-shirt, I bought a few T-shirts at one of the shows, and then one wound up, unfortunately, in the city dump. But it's funny because his bass player works at that dump. Yep. And so they made a big deal of it. It was a lot of funny, but it's that was, it was good times.
Mm-hmm.
And not really sure how it all evolved into this, but I think, like COVID, just, wow, that was, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool because the studio
that's
shut
what
down.
happened too. We were audio only before.
Yeah.
And then a lot of this COVID stuff started happening, and so on. And we had an idea. We thought, why can't we try streaming this on Facebook, right? And we tried a couple of shows, they were kind of hokey, done with a cell phone and stuff like that. But it was an experiment that nobody had done. And it gave us a huge advantage, because when COVID actually shut everything down, we were the only ones that could continue. So the studio wasn't operational anymore, and we went on our own, and we did it together, and here we are. It just developed into what we have today.
Mhm.
So
Awesome.
thanks, COVID.
Hey, just before we sign off, I want to just give a little shout out. Well, kind of in a way, pay a little respect, I guess. Today is November 8th, which is Indigenous Veterans Day.
Yes.
So thank you to all the Indigenous
Good
veterans
one.
out there.
Yeah.
And in case you haven't noticed, I wasn't wearing a shirt tonight because a friend of ours who is battling breast cancers made some shirts and she's selling them. So if you want to get a Cancer's a Jerk shirt, come to a show or get in touch with a member of our band and we'll get you a shirt.
Nice.
Right.
Very nice. All right. Let's do
All
that.
right. Yeah.
You'll have to let us know or let the fans know when your next shows are so we can go out
Well, our
see a
next
play
show
and get a shirt.
20th in Hamilton at Under the Staircase with the Electric Dead and Hastings. But yeah, that actually might be our last show until the new year.
Okay.
Wow. Well,
All right.
We might be taking December off. So
there's always
You
the
never
Friday
know.
night jams, right?
yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, hey, Derek, have you ever heard of a place called I think it's called the Cherry or something in like on Lakeshore? Is that
Cherry Colas?
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that or is there a rehearsal studio?
Oh, the Cherry Beach Studio.
Oh, it's Cherry Beach Studio. Okay.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard of that, yeah.
More Cowbell is the rehearsal space there.
Oh, really?
I went
Okay.
there for 10 years. It's if you take the DVP or the 404 or whatever, take it and instead of going on the Gardner, you go to Lakeshore.
Yeah.
You go straight through and there's the two roads.
Yeah. Out by the docks, right? The old docks.
Yeah, by
Yeah.
Polson Pier there. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so it's literally take the Lakeshore exit, go through the lights and hang a right.
Right.
I've great rooms in there. I practiced in there, as I said, for about 10 years with my thrash band.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, Kathy's
Excellent.
awesome. She does all the backline for like Budweiser stage and stuff, right? So
Yeah.
you're getting quality equipment.
Okay,
Cool.
so sign us off, Richard. Hey, yep. Many more years. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but
Got to start making some money somehow, right?
yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
This is fun.
I'm doing it because I love doing it, and I love music, and this is what I can do, right? We talk about music a lot. We have guests and everything, so
Yeah,
get
we're
why not?
kind of a different.
yeah.
Yeah, we're all voices of angels. That's our
Yes, we
band.
are. Well, I also want to thank the fans that were part of our show tonight: Kathy, Richard, Rhonda, Bob, and Sheila. It's always great having you guys on, and that's one other reason why I like doing it. Is we like to hear from the people out there. Correspond with us through the show, tell us jokes, tell us we're full of crap. I don't care what it is, but love hearing from the people, and that's always made it much more fun. So let's do it again next Monday night at 9:30 here on the Heikadelic Show. See you then, everybody.
Well, that's another wrap for the Heikadelic Show, folks, so time to get dirty. And don't forget, listen in next week on Monday night and every Monday after that for the Heikadelic Show at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like more information on the Heikadelic Show, please find us at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. We'll see you all next week on the Heikadelic Show. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for the Heikadelic Show, it's easy. Just send us an email at info@theheikedelicshow.com. Meanwhile, you can browse our website at www.theheikedelicshow.com or .ca. Click on our sponsor tab and find out more information on sponsorships. Thanks for joining the Heikadelic Show, fans.